All right, I am going to call to order the May 4th City Council meeting of Mount Angel, Oregon. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Eater.
Here.
Councilor Astorga.
Here.
Councilor Donahue.
Here.
Councilor Ott.
Here.
Councilor Hobart.
He
Is absent at the moment.
at the moment anticipates being here shortly.
Councilor Bullock.
Here.
Our Youth Advisory Council.
Here.
Here. Mayor Fab.
Here. First thing, we had a bit of correspondence. We had an email from a Tammy Fisher who was in the packet. Were there any questions on that?
What the situation as far as the complaint.
Well, so I received an email and as you're aware, we don't own the blockage bill, we don't own the device. But interestingly enough, a few days before receiving the email, Scott Stokely, the owner of Luz, who controls the operation of the blockage bill, and I chatted at Drug Take Back Day. And I noticed that the indigenous person music that represents our Indian population was not playing. And so we talked about that. He said that there was some issue in the data file that they use for that music. And several people had been looking at it and trying to figure it out, but they were actively working at trying to do that. They actually discovered that there was a problem with it when they were up doing some other repair work up in the machine itself. So they were working on that. And so I was able to reply to her and give her that information and say that, you know, we're not the owners, but I would convey the information from her issue to Scott Stokely, and which is exactly what I did. But I also took it a step further to make sure that in the event, since she mentioned that she was a member of the Grand Ronde community and the Grand Ronde tribe, that I went ahead and emailed a personal friend of mine who is an elder with the Grand Ronde tribe and made sure that he was aware of this issue and that we were working on it as a community, as the owners of the blockage bill, and that if he had any concerns or suggestions to let me know. And then I also threw in there if there was any way for the Grand Ronde tribe to support the operation of the blockage bill. I'm sure that they would appreciate that. So I hadn't heard back from my friend.
Well, thanks for the update, because I think we noticed, Kathy and we noticed that it wasn't playing, and his style system function or robotics, and I think that's what I'm hearing. Was it intentional?
No.
I was also informed that Scott spoke at length with Tammy over the phone and further explained the situation to her. So I believe that it has been, the correspondence has been resolved, just not the technical difficulty. All right. Any other questions before we move on to a presentation from our Marion County engineer? Zach,
Join.
hop on up, let's roll.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors. My name is Carl Lund. I'm a traffic engineer with Marion County. So I'm bringing before you tonight a series of recommended transition speed zones from the county roads to the city roads. What they are is on all county roads abutting Mount Angel, we are proposing a 40-mile-per-hour transition speed zone. I believe you have one here on the on the state highway where it goes 35, 45, 55. This one is 40 because of the rural nature. we're concerned that that people will not adhere to 35, 45, particularly in that 45 section, and they'll just get to 55. And so 40 feels like something that people would be more willing to drive at. And so one of the things that Chief Daniel brought up was a concern on this first page of the 55-mile-per-hour speed zone there near Hayes Street. And so we made a point of making sure that the speed was not 55 there near Hayes Street in this proposal. The others are pretty standard transition zones. Are there any
So
questions?
what is it then? It's not 55, it's.
All of them are.
40 is.
No, all of them are currently 55. We are, so on any roads that are county, but also within city limits, we're required to obtain concurrence with the city. I don't believe any of these are. The one that might be is Markham, but I believe that is a county road. I believe the county boundary is just south of the road there. But the ones where we aren't required to obtain concurrence, we still want to work with the cities so that we can agree on the speed limits. Yeah,
Is it right if I ask a question?
absolutely.
I noticed that transition is right by Hayes.
Mhm.
Is it possible to perhaps move that a little bit further out?
We expanded it as far as we could.
Okay.
So the transition speed zones have to be between 1,000 feet and 1,320 feet. And so in order to do that, we actually extended the 25-mile-per-hour speed zone. And that will be a more extensive process, a little bit more, to get, we're looking at extending that 25-mile-per-hour speed zone a little further so that we could get to Hayes.
Okay. I was just curious, because at some point I know Reagan's probably gonna extend out through. So the other question is you mentioned concurrence, and if you saw our agenda, there is a likelihood that concurrence will no longer be 25, it would be 20. Would that affect Markham's?
Yeah, and that, I see no problem with that.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So in these smaller cities and in on local streets in bigger cities, 20 is a really good policy.
So it would not only be on Markham's, but the other county roads as well.
Yeah.
So East Church, West Church. And
Probably as far as
South Main.
official concurrence, if you need to obtain that, I believe the city has authority within city limits, so there shouldn't be any issue, I don't think. But if concurrence is required to be obtained, I need to bring it to the county commissioners for official concurrence.
So the proposal, what I see, so like, let me get my map. You're probably looking at this all wrong. Okay, let's go to the back page. Okay, on Marco, the speed limit's gonna be further east on Markham, the 20 mile per hour.
I believe it's the current existing location is where we marked it from, so.
So why is one part of that in blue and the other in
Okay.
orange?
So the orange is the existing speed limit. And the blue is the proposed speed limit.
So it's gonna go further out east.
So that section instead of being 50.
It's gonna go up to about Kirby's barn out there, or just about Raiders.
Yep, pretty close.
So that's the only change right here.
Lots of different shades of blue, so but.
Lots of different shades.
It's the blue.
Yep,
The one at Markham Road East, what shade are we talking about, 40? What shade are we?
So 40, yeah, so they're all 40. They're all 40 miles per hour. Are there any thoughts on it? On like good, bad? Wish it was shorter, longer?
But I agree on Hades.
Agree on Hades?
I agree on Hades. Mayor, on, be nice to get just a little bit further down that road. Because yes, the town's growing out that way and it's certainly 55 now, how much, I don't know, but It almost looks like it's just right on top of Hayes when it changes to.
Yeah, it would be about, with that, it would be close to the property line on the north side of that property that is on Hayes right now. So near where his fence is, or
But you said you could go 1,000 feet?
1,000 feet, 1,320 feet.
So that at 1,319. Is that, did I understand that correctly? That's how.
But anything before Hayes would be great.
Okay.
But
So how far will, I'm looking on South Main Street. Okay. But how far is that 40 mile an hour gonna go beyond the city limits?
So other than Hayes, other than the Mounting Toll Groves Highway Road, we assumed 1,000 feet. You are the second city we brought this recommendation to. We're looking at doing all the cities in Marion County. And their city council in Jervis requested that we maximize them in all locations. So do 1,320 feet in all locations. And so I'm frankly curious if that's a desire, if I'm gonna see that pattern with all the city councils. And that is something that I'm curious about.
I'm on board with it. I would look at our police chief to ask me why that might be a good or bad idea. I don't see how it could be a bad idea.
I don't see it as a bad idea at all. In fact, I see it as a significant positive for the community, but also for everyone who comes to Mount Angel. To have a transition zone, have a much greater transition zone, allows people to slow down, number one, and prepare for a 20 mile per hour speed zone that they're going to be coming into. And would make our roads here within the Portland city limits much safer. Because you're 25, based on what our engineer is telling us, or 25 becomes 20. Then at the point where it's 55 right now, it becomes 40. And then that goes out for
320 feet or
1,320 feet. At 40 miles an hour before it becomes 55.
Especially in situations like South Main. Because you go into shaded areas, there's an elevation difference. Also similar to, I don't know how much East Markham is, but I know coming over on by the Abbey, you essentially crest, and boom, there it is.
Right.
So.
Exactly right. And then it would especially assist, I think, certainly on Mounting the Rivers Road, but then also on West Church. You know, as soon as people pass the last house there, but most certainly well before. You know, they can see this giant sign that says speed limit ends. Right? And so they're already hammering it down and then heading out of town before they make the corner by the roof barn. So we can keep that sign out there, put a 40 mile per hour speed sign there. Then people are not likely going to be punching it to 55 or 60 miles an hour before they get up to the corner.
I think the curve is kind of control that.
Do you ever do a speed zone coming into town different than going out of town? And I'm referring to South Main Street.
Okay, I'm not crazy. The signs are at different spots.
Yeah, that's annoying, sorry.
Oh, that stretch of road, you're gonna have impatient drivers that are gonna ignore that. Pretty soon they're passing somebody at the base of the hill going out of town.
Generally speaking, we try to keep the speed limit the same both directions. There are unique circumstances that would require something different, but generally speaking, we try to keep it the same.
And I'm unaware that the speed limits are any different. That just has to do with hygiene and sign placement. And we've had some challenges, as you know, with sign placement that we discovered throughout the years, and we've corrected. There might be some others that we need to fix too, but some of the biggest issues to sign hygiene were actually on Main Street, North Main Street. And we finally got ODOT to work on that with us, and that's pretty well taken care of.
But you said that blue stretch on South Main Street is how long from the city limits?
It would be, if I understand the desire of this council, would be 1,320 feet.
It's like,
That's gonna take you all the way to the road to the well.
Almost, yeah.
About a quarter.
I bet it takes you further than that.
Yeah.
It's a quarter mile.
Ron Byers engineers.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty much. So probably the right way.
I'm still confused on Hay Street. Why can't we go 1,300 feet past Hay Street?
So so this was a request of Chief Daniel in particular that we figure out how to reduce the speed limit next to Hayes. And so we took speed studies at multiple locations along that road, along the Mount Angel Rivers Highway Road. And if we did an official speed, a change based on the speeds, it would remain a 55 mile per hour road. And so it being a transition zone is the most effective way to actually change the speed limit there at Hayes. And so we're limited by the lengths, and so that's the issue.
When that length starts at city limits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of curious to see where the UGB falls into this as well. Oh, there, yes, I
I have to look at the map, but I think UGB is very close.
Cause I think it goes past, surely. Is that Hay Street by like a couple thousand feet from it, right?
Yeah, but it might, but I don't know. We'd have to look at the map.
Yeah. Cause if I remember right, it was because they were planning on, like you said, punching out. Whatever,
Reagan, my
parade and something.
I don't know, I'm just.
Are there any concerns with this concept?
My only question would be, and this sounds like it might need further investigation, is the concurrence issue of if the city has the authority within city limits, or if we'll have to propose it to the commission.
So, we've talked with Laura, she's the ODOT speed engineer. I don't know exactly what her official title is, but she works with the speed limits. And the speed limits within, if I understand it correctly, speed limits within the cities are the authority of the city itself.
Okay.
And
So if we can confirm that, then we won't need to seek concurrence from the county commissioners.
that's correct.
Okay.
Existing is
So, and she'll,
what's already here.
whoever you're working with to change the speed limit will be able to verify that.
Okay.
Recommended.
We're double checking shades right now.
Okay.
And the Hayes thing is because city limits basically stops right at the property line of those homes that abut Mount Angel Jervis Highway.
So.
That's why we have to start around corners, because that's where the road itself crosses city limits.
There's a whole, like, we base speed limits generally speaking on actual, like, on the driving speeds of the existing traffic. And so the 25 mile per hour speed limit is currently near that driveway or near that road that goes south Cypress Street. And we are extending that out as basically as far as we can.
Okay,
And then that allows us to get the 40 miles per hour past Hayes.
perfect.
You need a consensus for us?
No.
Go ahead.
I don't think so. I don't think I need concurrence on any of these, but we'll verify with ODOT. And my biggest thing is I work for the county and we care deeply about working with the cities within the county. And so we don't want to just surprise you with random speed limits all of a sudden.
Well, we really appreciate you coming and talking to council and answering questions about this issue in particular. This has been something we've been trying to get at for a really long time. Can you give us any idea though, when we can look that this transition might actually take effect?
I would anticipate within the next 3 months or so.
Okay,
If I'm reading the council right, I can just. I'm not seeing any objections to moving ahead with it.
Is there anybody who'd like to voice a concern about the 1,320 foot 40 mile per hour zones before we let our county engineer loose?
Does the, I don't have a concern, but the question is, if the county, purchase and place any, radar signs ever?
Oh, speed feedback signs?
Yeah.
We have a number of those that we place at various locations throughout the county. I believe we've placed one here in Mount Angel previously. I know we've had one on Church for a little bit at some point. I don't know if it was in the city, but it was just outside city limits. Is there a request for us to use some of those here?
well, the city's purchased a number of them, and as I'm sure you've seen them up throughout the community, so. Any and all assistance that the county can render in that respect, to give feedback to drivers to get them to slow down, would be a great help.
Why, so that makes sense. We have 3 that have 2-week batteries, and it sounds like you all are going to be transitioning to a 20-mile-per-hour speed zone. I would be, and those I can put out at. Where I see fit, and it would make sense to me to. To let you all use those for 2 weeks when, until their batteries die out when you change the speeds, because drivers will be going at speeds they're used to.
That would be great.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, do we have any interested citizens that would like to make an appearance? Colby? I do not. Okay. Moving on to the quarterly department reports provided in the packet. Any questions from council on anything they saw in the quarterly reports?
Curious what Brenda asked you to implement the plan.
I'm sorry?
What did Brenda ask you to implement the plan from DEQ?
Oh, we were just talking about that today, so, for the walkthrough, better record keeping. Yeah, it's, right offhand, that's about it, but I'll have to go back and look and give you a better, answer, but I know she mentioned record keeping.
Okay, so it's like QA/QC or like chain of custody stuff.
No, more like, pump maintenance, pump replacement and stuff like that. All right, thank you.
We are working on one additional plan that's not mentioned here. Had communication with her as late as today. And that's about a plan that we needed to put into place during Oktoberfest. Because Oktoberfest has their purveyor of porta potties collecting stuff out of the porta potties and dumping directly into our facility. And as a result, DEQ has requested us to implement a plan for that. And that does require us to do some additional record keeping. It will also require people to actually come in, public works employees to come in and test the pH level daily, and do some other types of activities.
That they'll pay for, right?
That Oktoberfest.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Accounts payable report. Any questions? Counselor Rock, Counselor Sorgan, Counselor Black, Counselor Hofer.
I have one,
As they need it.
page 12, I was a little shocked with the new roof costs on the Medino. Maybe I'm out of touch what a roof costs, but in a building.
Don't do public money re-roofs, it's gonna be double what I would see.
It's under.
You wanna talk about it? Plus, that's a. Decorative work, that's a shine. Sure. So I just got a estimate from Vipers and that's what they gave me. So I didn't get 3 estimates because we're trying to get it done. It's under 25,000. So we went with Vipers. So I don't think it's crazy.
And they did additional work, so there was additional dry rock to the area above the main roof, which they rebuilt for us. They actually replaced one of two of the plywood panels down there.
And Oktoberfest paid us a grant for it, so
Yes.
it's not all out of our pocket.
Yeah, I did submit a
But
grant.
still, I thought it was excessive.
Sure.
Thank you.
Had nothing else.
I didn't have that on my list because I didn't think it was excessive, but okay. I did have one that. I wanted to check on, I'm gonna find it here real quick. It had something to do with vaults.
Wastewater.
Yeah, vault safety hatches for almost 10 grand a piece.
Yeah. So originally, when it was built, it was just when you went into our lift station, it was just a deep hatch and it's 20 feet deep. So I purchased safety vaults so you can open them up and you can actually look in there. So there's grates over it and we can open up one and remove one pump at a time so that it's not a huge opening. So there's no real minimal risk for anybody getting hurt.
Good call.
Yeah, it's an extreme fault hazard.
Yeah.
And so we significantly upgraded. The last time we had a pump replaced in there, it was scary standing anywhere even close to the edge of that, looking down into about 15 feet of even what, and nothing there to catch me.
Okay. Quarterly finance report. Any questions, Counselor Sorga? Counselor Black?
Yeah, page 17, so. I'll be definitely through this, so our revenues look like, it's 9 months through the year. Revenues look like they're going it steadily, but the expenditures, I mean, we're 13 million less than budget. Are these projects that we thought we'd get to or haven't, or will or not be rolled over the next year? Why is there so much discrepancy between what we spent so far and what the budget is?
And you're specifically referencing the library endowment fund, the transportation SDC fund, housing rehab, those particular ones that have.
Street fund, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, water utility fund,
Yep.
sewer utility fund, down line.
Okay. So library endowment fund, all of that is put into reserve for future, so we never intend to spend it, but it still shows up on this report. Street, same with all the SDC funds. Some of them will get spent, but most of them don't. We don't have anything budgeted for this year. So if you see this report, you can always take it back to your budget document. Although that may, sometimes it just says street projects, right? So it's pretty generic, but we don't necessarily have anything planned. So yeah, that kind of answers all the SDC funds. As far as like maybe why the sewer utility fund is only 18%. That's because we thought we were gonna get to the sludge fund sooner this year, removing the sludge this year, and that's not gonna happen. So that's why we left at 18%.
Was the street funds due to the railroad project?
Probably, yeah.
So with the SDC fund, we get the revenue on an annual basis, but we don't necessarily spend it all in a particular year. We spend it when a project comes up, or is that how it works? And then the money just the money stays in that fund until that project gets on board.
We collect SDCs usually with construction, with developmental improvements, those types of things. So those funds are put in place for the enhancement of city infrastructure as time goes on. And there are certain projects that are and have to be identified in order to qualify for SDCs. And so we have the SDCs sitting in a fund until we either qualify with a project to be able to spend those funds.
Fire hydrant replacement is one of them, right? If I remember right, I think.
But-
Or the bollards, I think, or not bollards, but the ballast, I think, for them as well.
The engineers usually just, from what I understand, and the engineers don't always understand it either, but a percentage of your project can qualify if the project is for future growth or it increases capacity. So oftentimes, if you're just repaving a street, that doesn't qualify because you're not increasing capacity and you're not making it wider and making improvements for future growth. So if you have a 4-inch pipe and you're increasing it to an 8-inch pipe, I'm not an engineer, I don't know the calculation, but whatever that increased capacity is, that's how much percentage you can pay with SDC funds.
For instance, Birch Street has gone from a 4 to a 12, and that's 100% paid through SDCs.
Thank you.
Similarly, Jack, on to Councilor Glenn. The other opportunity too is for contractors. So like in City of Newport, my engineering report showed I needed an 18-inch pipe. But the city would pay me to put in a 24-inch pipe. Because they could use their SDC funds because they wanted the future. So.
But that money is also restricted to that fund.
You know, where does money sit? As they wait?
In that fund,
No, I mean, physically,
in the LGIP,
which is,
the local government investment pool, this Oregon State Treasury investment pool.
yeah. Do we ever get a count on how much we have in that pool?
All the time.
We reconcile it monthly.
Or this evening?
Anything else?
No, thanks.
Councilor Hofer? All right. Hearing nothing, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have 2 sets of minutes. We will review the city council meeting minutes first. Were there any additional corrections that have not already been provided? Hearing none, we can entertain a motion.
Those improved incentives for those. We'll approve the city council meetings of April 6, 2006.
Again.
We have a motion from Councilor Hofer, seconded by Councilor Eder to approve the city council meeting minutes from April 6th, 2026.
Councilor Follett.
Aye.
Councilor Eager.
Aye.
Councilor Hofer. Aye. Councilor Astorga.
Abstain, I was absent.
Councilor Donahue. Aye. Councilor Hahn.
Abstain, I was absent.
Mayor Kyle.
Aye. Next, we have the budget committee meeting minutes from April 23rd, 2026. Were there any corrections?
Yeah, one of the that's been corrected already, on 10. I need to change the name of the chair to recommend.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah.
Which,
Number 10, section 10.
my apologies.
Give another credit.
Alright. Anybody like to make a motion as amended?
Move to approve budget committee meeting minutes of April 23rd.
Second.
We have a motion by Counselor Hooper, seconded by Counselor Black.
Counselor Black.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Still in one sense.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Ott.
Bye.
Mayor Bob.
There is one more correction, unless I wasn't listening. I did turn the meeting over to the budget committee chair,
Oh,
right above item 5.
as amended. Are we good with that, Colby?
Yeah, we're good for that.
Okay,
We will add it to the corrections.
I'll open it to the floor. Does anybody want to revote? Then we're good. Unfinished business, request for zone change, ordinance number 786, second reading. I'll turn this over to Mr. Daniel.
Well, this will be your second reading, as was presented at the last council meeting. The property owner who is here in, the room tonight, has requested that a change of the zoning of the described property from CG to RC on February 20th, 2026, public notice for the DC 2026-01 was provided with the date, time, and place for the two hearings. First before the planning commission on March 19th, second before city council on April 6th. On March 19th, the Mount Angel Planning Commission voted to recommend the city council to approve the application to amend the city Mount Angel zoning map as requested. City council approved the first reading of the ordinance number 786 at the April 6th, 2026 meeting. Staff recommends approval of ZC Zulu Charlie 2026-01/ ordinance number 786.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions, or would anybody like to make a motion?
I move to approve the second reading of ordinance number 786, an ordinance changing the zoning on property located at 485 North Main Street with modifications by the city council.
We have modifications.
Oh, I'm gonna go above. I move to approve the second reading of ordinance number 786, an ordinance changing the zoning of property located at 485 North Main Street.
We'll second that. I have a new motion by Council President Eater, seconded by Councilor Donahue. May I have a vote, please?
Could you please read the title of the ordinance one more time?
This vote is for ordinance number 786, an ordinance changing the zoning of property located at 485 North Main Street as described in Rule 4601, page 33 of Marion County Public Records from general commercial to residential commercial.
Counselor Ott.
Aye.
Counselor Black. Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Mayor Bob.
Aye. All right, thank you. Next, we have a second reading for the residential speed reduction, ordinance number 785. Chief Daniel.
This is the second reading based on the ordinance that was presented to council at the last meeting. An ordinance declaring a speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Oregon highways in the city of Mount Angel within residential districts. And as we learned tonight, we will likely expand that with concurrence from the county. But for the purposes of this particular ordinance, we'll continue with the wording as it is, since we don't have concurrence of the county as of yet for the other county roads, which appears will happen. We can simply make an addendum to this ordinance at that time, once we get concurrence and include those streets within the corporate city limits of the city of Mount Angel. So once again, this is, and we do our, can't talk. We are recommending that council adopt ordinance number 785, declaring a speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Oregon highways in the city of Mount Angel within residential districts.
This is just on highways in town.
Every street in town is considered a public road.
Any other questions?
I do have one. So why was this brought back after when I brought it up a year or so ago?
Because I learned that the law had actually been changed. The website had not been changed on ODOT. So I did the research for myself and decided to bring it back instead of being asked again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does this give our officers more leeway to enforce the speed limits in town?
Yes. We have seen a significant rise in stops, particularly on North Main Street.
Yes. I catch myself going 23, 25 sometimes. I'm like, oh, it's 20. Going to work at night. So.
We're doing a great job of educating the public. Making the streets safe.
So my question is if and when somebody gets pulled over at 20 mile an hour in front of a school zone, is it still considered not in a school zone, so it doesn't double or whatever?
So it is still, until we change it, it's still considered a school zone. And
No, it's like on Taylor Street, right before my house.
it's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It provides the opportunity, and really right now, we don't have the ability to enhance penalties.
Mhm.
But for the school zone, we would have the opportunity to enhance penalties for that particular area. All we need to do is purchase the signs and get them put up.
Hopefully that slows down the speed racers.
Okay. With that, we can entertain a motion.
I move to go back to the second reading to approve, I'm supposed to yell this because it's all capitals. An ordinance declaring a speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Oregon highways in the city of Mount Angel within residential districts.
Second.
I have a motion from Counselor Donahue, seconded by Counselor Ott to perform a second reading of ordinance number 785. An ordinance declaring a speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Oregon highways in the city of Mount Angel within residential districts.
Counselor Donahue?
Aye.
Counselor Ott?
Aye.
Counselor Bolette?
Aye.
Counselor Eager?
Aye.
Counselor Hofer?
Aye.
Counselor Escoria?
Nay.
Mayor Bab?
Aye. All right, item 9C. Ebner Park restroom use for rentals. Finance Director Von Flew.
So as the CAF states, we had an opportunity to, as a management team, discuss the costs of the bathrooms for, what do you call it, a sports season rental. And, we thought that maybe we should consider, or council, it would be a good idea to just consider if we want to think about maybe charging for the use of those bathrooms with the constant cleaning that may come in, so. Before you, we have a couple, attachment A has, man-hour costs, material costs, estimated time for those man-hours and supplies, and what a max and minimum scenarios might look like. To give you some information to have a discussion.
Discussion with that. But I would certainly entertain a fee.
Currently, there's two porta potties in there.
No, there's one porta potty and then there's the actual restroom, this is the brick and mortar.
Right, so if we were to, when we offer up the park for seasonal rental. And we're gonna have a, maze or something there. One porta potty is not gonna facilitate,
They've never played games there before, so it's just been practices. But this year,
like we did the, whole field improvement, now, hopefully that was with
mhm,
the hopes that we get people in that,
yeah,
it has, whether or not we open up the. I mean, I'm for charging if we're gonna open it up, but I'm also for like, probably need to have more than one. If we're gonna be somebody, but a bunch of all, so.
There's just one brick and mortar? Or you
Yeah.
should-
Well, there's Benetton, but it's one building.
we have gotten word from Maze that requested 7 more game days in addition to the 2 that they've already used. So it's something that we are starting to realize these costs.
In addition, I had a conversation with the athletic director of the school district. And he stated that there may be opportunities for them to host more games now that Ebner is a viable option as a JV field, which was one of the original conversations to do it. So I agree, it's a good problem to have. I struggle with fees on fees on fees. Cause at some point we pay taxes to have parks. But sitting on this side of the table, that's a bad thing to say. Okay.
Are we limited how many people that could use just the porta potty? Not you open up the other restrooms?
Technically, yes, every porta potty has a sign inside that says this was designed for 10 people on a 40-hour work week or something like that, right? So I don't know, it's one thing to read when you're in there.
You're dating yourself, aren't you?
Some of us live on construction sites.
I mean, they rate how used it was. Center too, but. Maybe we need to entertain adding 1 or 2 additional porta potties for the summer, from spring break to. Through August or something, I don't know,
Are you saying that you don't want to offer the brick and mortar bathrooms at all, or?
Well, it'd be a lot cheaper to just put another porta potty in there, wouldn't it? Rather than passively open them and close them and clean them and all that.
Well, the estimated costs are on the next sheet over.
We went to this to not only due to cost, but to eliminate the liability of what we're asking employees to do and walking into situations. Now, when we made that decision, that was probably a little prior to some of the technology we have now as far as time locks and those kinds of things and motion lights and all the kinds of other ways we could dump money into this situation.
Mr. Mayor, we are looking into the cost of new doors and electronic locks and all that. We're making it a lot easier to manage for sure. But for example, on Friday night, you had a police officer that went over there sometime after 8 o'clock to then check the restrooms and then secure them.
Understood. The that would be one of the hard things is. If somebody was already in there when they logged in, right, then they would be in for the evening. Understandable. Other question is so we have a male and a female restroom. Are they identical inside?
No, one has a urinal, like 2 toilets, and the other one is all toilets, like.
I mean, I look at going up to the ball fields up or the 2 northern ball fields, there's 1 toilet. And it isn't used all the time.
Is it a full body or is
It's
it
a porta potty,
Okay.
yeah. So why burden staff with more work? There's an extra cost for using the facility. That'd be more game to put another porta potty up there. There's one there already. It's a seasonal one.
Yeah, I mean, some experience being on the sports league. And we just brought in porta potties because the brick and mortar one was an absolute mess. At the end of the day, it's a mess. They're really do that when you go in and use it. That's my experience. Or porta potties are better. That's,
But assuming
that was years ago. So.
if people rent the park, they probably want access to the brick and mortar, don't they?
Some do. Yeah, some of them request it, and I can see for, you know, if it's a family reunion or a kid's birthday, they're not gonna trash it like an all-day baseball tournament could. I don't think you've run into any issues with, you know, a one-time use.
The other thing though is 1 or even 2 porta potties isn't the same capacity as the 2 brick and mortars. That's what I'm hearing. Cause each one has multiple stalls.
Yeah.
So you effectively have, for lack of a better term, 6 holes versus 1 or 2 more.
Correct.
And it looked like. We pay $732 a month for
just
portable toilets. In all of the parks, and that is how many units? 3, 5,
3, 4, 5. Possibly 6.
Plus the ones here at City Hall.
That's what I'm counting.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's 2 in there and then ADA one, or 1 and an ADA, and then 3 more, so 5. And one of those is including the ADA, which is a little bit more expensive.
There's 1 in each of the parks. Right. And 1, and 2 here. Correct. And the one that's in Everett Park is actually in the parking lot in front of Public Works and not very close to the ball field.
They used to be,
Did
the ball fields were on the other side.
Well, there's nothing wrong with saying, let people use the parks and we'll eat the fees, that's okay too. It was a
I'm
conversation.
more inclined with that. I used to be the parks person for when I was in high school and college. And I was part of my daily routine was to go and clean the bathroom and stock them up. Yeah, there's some folks that tend to miss, but that's what, you take a hose and throw some bleach down and clean them as best you can, but I think I know we had issues with these ones here.
We haven't had any issues at Edward. These were a nightmare.
Yeah.
But Edward's been fine.
Well, it's because we don't leave them open.
They're not open, correct?
Yeah.
They weren't open for a while, but.
No,
when they
I'm
were
saying-
open,
Oh, these were open 24/7. The bathrooms at Evner are only opened when there's
It's dusk
renters.
and dawn, right?
Only when renters ask for them. They're not.
We're open every day.
Well, if that's the case, can we just do it that way? If we can, if we're renting the park, use it. I know for me, because when I rented Fisher, I made sure I picked everything up, everything, you know, or Humphrey, excuse me. Cause I want my deposit back. So I think if that's kind of the carrot dangling from the horse is that deposit, you know, if you don't clean up, that deposit comes back to us, so. I think if there is any damage or anything else that, it's not much,
Well,
but
damage or should we say if it's not, like if we have to spend, you know, if. The bathrooms are trashed, you know, and is that subjective or do we say, you know?
so that would require a change in our contract language and then, right, for the usage of the park. And I think that's a good thing that you're gonna be held liable if somebody breaks like a toilet or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's something breaking is fine, but I mean, are we talking about like if the bathrooms are a mess, do we? Want to go change the language so we can keep some of the cleaning deposit?
That's what I was wondering is, you know. I hate to say it, but honestly, the $25 a day resident rental is actually probably better than the May situation where they pay. $150 or $250 for the whole season, $300 for the whole season. Right, because the number of times that they are using it. So. I like the idea of maybe splitting the difference, right? But one of the things that we don't have in our reservation is a big group, small group, right? If you rent the park, you rent the park. So we wouldn't be able to say, oh, you have more than 25 people, you need to pay more. So as far as your min max trying to cover the cost, we would either need to designate like an anticipated number of guests. Or we would come back with a fee schedule that maybe took a little bit more, so like maybe instead of 25, it's 35. And then you bump the cleaning deposit up another $50. And then you have language in there for, you know, what's not considered regular cleaning. Right, we're not gonna ask people to wipe down the toilets before they leave.
Right.
But. Maybe start by splitting the difference and seeing where we go with it.
Yeah, you know, we've seen. Ellen and I, before we closed these restrooms down, before they got torn down and had porta potties lifted into them. People creating, I'm picking my words, significant mess. With excretions and a variety of other things inside. On walls, on the doors, all over the insides of the facilities. Plugging things up, causing literally criminal level damage. Which requires our staff to have to go in and deal with, which was unreasonable. And I would say that if, you know, our language was tightened up. And if there was a way to capture that deposit. Perhaps that would give the renter more incentive to police the people that were visiting the restroom. Especially if they have the risk of not receiving their deposit back. But I also think that, you know, folks are kind of used to the way things are, not used to paying additional fees and that type of thing. So it might be a bit of a stretch, a bit of a change for some people to change their paradigm on what city park rentals look like and what they're able to do and what they're not able to do. But I think trying to capture a reasonable amount to recover some staff costs. You know, I can see, you know, replacing the toilet paper, I can see replacing the towels. I can see, you know, trash can liners and the variety of other things it takes us to make it nice. But the additional staff time for additional cleaning and that type of thing is kind of beyond, because we don't have our own staff in City Hall cleaning the toilets. We don't have our staff, you know, sweeping the floors and doing all that maintenance work that is done, at least in the police department once a week. And But we don't have a private contractor that comes in public works to clean their facility. But just about everywhere else, we do.
Is that 732 a month, that covers supplies? In the porta potties?
Yes.
TP and.
Yeah.
Sanitizer.
Because they come through, I believe, every week and pump them out and then clean them, sanitize them and refill the toilet paper.
So it sounds like. We have like 3 or 4 problems. Opportunities. Opportunity to provide our guests and the residents a chance to utilize the flushing toilets in lieu of the already provided porta potty. For which we could charge a slightly larger amount. We wouldn't try to recoup everything. Then they'll price people out. And we have an opportunity to charge more of a cleaning deposit. Because there's more to potentially clean. Right? And it sounds like we need to possibly tighten up the language in our use agreements around what that looks like, right? And then my last question is during the months that it's getting used more, this is for further investigation with the time locks and other stuff. But we pay $774 a month Moonlight Maintenance to take care of all the buildings. What would be the cost addition to have Moonlight Maintenance go through once a week and clean those bathrooms? So. Anybody think I'm crazy?
I think it's a good idea, just have them come and clean it. But is that gonna be a daily thing?
Oh, I don't know what that looks like. It was just one of those things that when he mentioned, you know, we have people coming here, I thought, nah, maybe we have people going there too. I'm all for trying to recover some of it. I'm not on board with covering all of it. At some point, the parks are a service. That's my 2 cents. And it sounds like. At this point, we're looking at.
I'm curious to
Bring it
see what
back.
Hubbard does as well, because I know that they have very nice bathrooms over there, and they're all public and open to the public.
But I was wondering, can we compare our way compare to other city?
Yeah, and they have those preset ones in there, those prefabbed bathrooms, but. Their guys take care, public works takes care, they have like a half-time parks guy. Of me, who went cleaned all the parks bathrooms and. It took a better part of the morning to do it, about a couple hours, to do all the parks, scrubbing down and everything. So, but. Where the money was coming from to pay me to do it, again, is that the parks fund, was it general fund, whatever. So I don't know, but I'd like to see what they do before I think we make a decision.
Have any other cities that you want us to look at?
Silverton. They also have bathrooms as well, so.
I think I'll check into it, but I'm pretty sure that they have the coded lock system, like they got it on
Yeah,
their timer.
They do. And maybe we can give the renters the code.
We'll just have to see.
If that happens, yeah, or what.
You need to have to change the code after every rental, otherwise, pretty soon it'd be like the pizza people, they have codes to, and the newspaper, codes to every gate in town,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
so. So,
So we'll look into Hubbard, Silverton, and I just jotted down Sherwood.
Does Sublimity or Staten, I know Staten has some as well, I remember. Have some pretty big ones in there as well.
We'll find out what their fees are. And we'll find out how they're maintained, how they're cleaned, who pays for it. what that looks like.
Thank you.
Well, do we need to formally close this out with any kind of motion or?
I don't think so. I think we just need our marching orders to research or do whatever council wishes.
Any other additional questions or requests prior to this coming back to council? Anybody really wanna make a motion tonight?
I move to table this until the next council meeting upon further investigation. By Chief Dana. Excuse me, City Manager Davis. I said Chief Davis.
Okay. Motion by Counselor Storga, seconded by Counselor Donahue to table this and come back with a little more information next month.
If we get that far.
Oh, do they need more time? I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
At a future date.
TBD. Just asking.
I couldn't hear you.
Do they need more time? I mean, I don't know.
I'll let you know.
Alright, take a roll call. Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Ott.
Aye.
Counselor Bullock.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper. Aye. Mayor Bob.
Aye. Before I move on, I wanna make one statement. This is a great problem to have. I enjoy it. Drove by Friday night and saw middle school age kids playing baseball and the ice cream truck rolled up and all the above and all the things that we hoped when we put the money into that park were all happening. So. With that, I'll move on to new business. Matt, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Item 10A, Lagoon Solids Removal Bid Award. This one is Mr. Dahlberg.
Okay, the water treatment plant consists of a facultative lagoon treatment system. Prior analysis indicated that solids have accumulated in the primary lagoon for multiple decades without removal. The peak height of solids in the primary lagoon was measured higher than the minimum operating level, which is 2 feet, necessitating removal and disposal. The most recent analysis of the wastewater plant's sludge depth and composition was performed on January 26 of 2023 by West Tech Engineering. The northern portion of the lagoon, where the sewer from the headworks discharges into the lagoon, was where most of the measurements were taken. This area had the highest concentration of the sludge. The depth of sludge was measured ranging from 0.3 feet to 2.65 feet. Sludge samples were sent into Water Lab in Salem, Oregon, where the total solids by weight were determined. This analysis provided an indication of the density of the sludge. An estimated total of 2,750 dry tons will be removed and hauled to a landfill. The project was advertised in the Daily Journal of Commerce and the Woodburn newspaper. The Lagoon Solids Removal Project bid opening was held at Civil West Engineering and read aloud at 2 p.m. on April 16th. 2 contractors submitted bids. Valterra came in the highest at $3,150,000. Came in the lowest at $2,742,688. The engineer's estimate was $2,672,000. The notice of intent to award was mailed out and the waiting week has been completed. Civil West recommends awarding the bid to Synagro Incorporated in the amount of $2,742,688.
Any questions?
How many companies out there for this? How many are there? We only got 2 bids. I feel like it's not like a very
It's very
popular thing, is it?
Matt, in your experience, approximately how many different firms do you get bidding on these type of projects?
2 or 3. I think I know that there was 4 plan holders, so we could have got more, but generally 2 or 3 is kind of where we see things like this. they're pretty specialized. They have specialized equipment that dredge it up and do the dewatering. So it's not something that local contractors can really do.
Gotcha.
What kind of potential for overrun on costs? You know, should we be, yes.
I'm not sure. The volume of dredge materials is an estimate, and it's my understanding that the contract would be let, and the contract would go up until they have dredged that amount of materials out of the lagoon, and there may still be more left, but that would get the lion's share of it. So there could certainly be more sludge in the lagoon, but it's not critical that every last ounce of it is removed. So one of the things that kind of drove the cost was, what they're doing is dredging this, dewatering it, and then hauling it to the landfill. So a lot, lion's share of this cost is transportation, fuel cost of dump trucks having to drive from the city to Coffin Butte. And so that was some of the feedback that we got from the contractors during bidding was, would they be allowed to come in with price increase if the cost of fuel keeps going up, and we basically said that was not going to be on the table. Although I would estimate that if there are, if costs go to $10 a gallon, they're going to be trying to make some claim, but we told them that wasn't in the cards in the bid.
Guess comes down how good you guys are with the contract.
Yep.
So we speak about volume, but we also looks like we estimated it by weight. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So when the contractor dredges it, then they dewater it. They come up with a calculation based on the percent solids of that dewatered material, and the way you measure it is based on that dry solid, not the water incorporated. So it's in their best interest to get as much water out as possible, because the more weight they're hauling, the more it costs them. So they want it as dry as possible. So.
Okay, so that was gonna be my next question is do we have a specification for moisture content upon leaving?
I think there is an allowable limit that the landfill will accept. I think it's probably they will allow a higher moisture content than the contractor is going to want to truck, for just because it's more expensive to truck a wet, heavy material than it is dry, but that's going to be up to them.
But you have a way of calculating what the dry weight would be no matter what the moisture content actually is when it leaves?
Correct.
Okay, so we don't need moisture testing as part of the contract admin services or anything like that?
That's part of what the contractor provides, and we'd provide field support to verify what they're doing and how they're coming up with those numbers, and so that's part of our job.
What is he guaranteeing for percent on his centrifuges?
I don't know that he's guaranteeing anything other than it will meet the requirement of the landfill.
Yeah, their requirement is 13%. So what I'm trying to say is if he wants to get it to be the driest, what's he guaranteeing? Or what's he shooting for?
I don't know that.
25%, 27%?
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm sorry.
Because that's gonna cost us more in hauling it. If we're at 27%, it's gonna be cheaper for us. We're gonna come in under budget.
Well, again, we're paying him on the dry ton, so if he wants to spend more trips it's costing him more, but it's costing the city the same amount of money.
Yeah, so it's calculated in a manner that there's no way to manipulate the cost back to or the amount hauled back to the city based on moisture content, is what you're telling me.
Correct. Yeah, thank you.
Questions? Just trying to grasp how they're gonna prove, like, you know. The dump is gonna test moisture of every load. When they dump it.
Every load, right, Matt?
I'm not sure if the dump tests every load. I'm not sure. We would certainly test
Before you load.
every load and have tickets on every load.
Well, and we're gonna be
For a
checking,
contractor.
we're gonna be grabbing samples too, to hold them accountable, to make sure.
Cause they're assuming they're just gonna present scale tickets, like. You know, like every truck and just.
You're supposed to have the bill of lading with you, and then your weight, and then you have to give it to them.
But as part of the contract administration services backed up by Public Works, we are taking samples, calculate the dry tons. So that they actually take the volume that we paid them for out, no matter how wet it is. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Other questions, comments? I got one thing for next time around. I don't think we need all of this in the packet next time, and I'm not sure what the rules are. Again, what I'm accustomed to seeing is different. I would maybe ask Matt and Chief, but I think that probably the bid form and the CCB certification would probably be about all council would need, knowing that our staff and our engineer of record have done this responsive checklist. And maybe a copy of the checklist so that we know that you did it. I always get concerned with the amount of information that some of these bidders provide, and then we stick it on our website for the whole world to see without having to do a public records request.
How often do we have to do something like this? When's the last time we did?
I haven't done it yet.
We've never had.
Never.
Answer your question, 0.
And so basically,
Sorry, I was born in
we
19.
we estimated this in what, 2,000 tons. If there's 2,500 tons, we're just gonna leave 500 tons in there, and 30 years from now, we'll dredge it again.
Yeah.
So basically maxing out what we can get with our budget.
I don't think I'll move around.
How much is Coffin Butte charging us per ton?
Don't know, it's on them.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. What
How
was
much
that?
is Coffin Butte charging per ton?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
To dump?
I don't have that number.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody like to make a motion?
Can I have a question real quick? Directed at Tara and Colby. Do they need to, stand up the contract review board? The contract,
Yes, thank you.
I don't know how to do that lawfully, so,
I can do that here in a second.
okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Good catch. Hearing no additional questions, I will now open the Mount Angel Contract Review Board at 8:16 PM. Colby, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We do not.
Hearing none, I will now close the Contract Review Board meeting. 8:07. Are there any additional steps that we missed?
I think you just have to vote as the.
Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna reopen that meeting. I shouldn't have closed it yet. Alright. Would anybody like to make a motion? While the contract review board meeting is in session?
I move to award the Lagoon Solid Removal Project to Cinegro WWT Inc.
So,
I have a motion from Councilor Hofer, seconded by Councilor Eater. Do I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Over. Councilor Astoria.
Aye.
Councilor Donahue. Aye. Councilor Otto.
Aye.
Councilor Delight.
Aye.
Councilor Eater.
Mayor Bob.
Aye. I will now close. For real this time, the contract review board meeting at 8:23. All right, then we have one additional item. Thank you, Mr. Wallington.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
This is the Moore IGA. And this is item 10B, and this one is for Finance Director Von Blue.
Yeah, so we're embarking on another cooperative project with Mount Angel High School. We reached out to our attorneys to draft another IGA. Our last one was very specific. And they recommended this IGA instead, so that we can continue going back and forth however is needed, and it doesn't need to be a different IGA every time. And it also expands to any other entity, agency that is already signed up under this. So it's an additional, we walked on our.
High school. Looking for something else.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were looking for.
No.
So I looked, I don't know if any of you, well, you probably didn't have a chance. There is this link on the Marion County website. They have a whole PowerPoint presentation. I think when they did that, they say on one of the PowerPoints, there's like 80+ agencies signed up, but I actually went, you can see all the agencies that are currently signed up, and now there's like over 100. So lots of cities, counties, special districts. So we have reached out to the high school to see if they would also, I mean, they also need to sign up for this for it to work. I haven't heard anything back yet, but I think even if they don't, this would be advantageous for us.
There's something in the works that makes this important. I rushed this through that. I mean, was it something that could wait another month?
Well, the school district has a specific project. I don't know their timeline. So I thought some flagpole work.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what is?
Oh, yeah, the school district, yeah, they're having issues with the flagpole and they can't get up there to put a new rope on. So the current rope is either broke or stuck, and they asked us if we could use the bucket truck. We would use our own bucket truck to put their rope up.
Anyways.
So this is kind of catch-all to work between the two entities versus, oh, we need another one for putting up a flagpole rope.
Right.
This is correct. We need something to help. Well.
Right. Right. So I didn't want to delay this another month if the school district had this in motion, and I just thought it would be. Anyways, helpful maybe to them if we didn't delay that a month, but we can easily wait.
There's often in years time, something like this happening, great work, the two together.
Honestly, this is the second time. Last year we used their base or their nail drags and chain drags for the baseball field, but we have our own now.
But it would also be advantageous if another city needed something, or we needed something from Silverton.
All protected under there.
With our new bathroom, if soda's bathroom went down, you'd be like, hey, we're over here and do this.
Right.
You wouldn't have to
or a street grinder to do an overlay. Seriously, that was something that was a long time ago. And asking the county to provide that equipment. But see, we didn't have anything in place. So there's a lot of possibilities here.
And actually, we have helped other cities before, and Silverton's helped us out quite a bit, so. They were saying in that aspect, they were.
Bills are sent, bills are paid during those things.
Like,
They,
and there are certain
grads,
rates.
and it's done like kind of like a, remember us next time you do.
Well, some of it is,
Yeah.
it's, a lot of it is in kind.
Some of it's good name. I'm with you, Jack. When I read this earlier today, it was like, you know, talks about, you know, we'll make available, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. But then it says the cost estimate for the services will be provided. And then that kind of stuff. So my only question or concern with this is, we're in a position, we have really nice stuff now. And I would hope that that would reflect in the effectively, are we going to need to use give me a second to find the words. Are we going to draft rate sheets for our equipment list?
I think that would be wholly appropriate.
Yeah, so we would have rate sheets. We have rate sheets on employees, we would have rate sheets on this effectively what our company rent would pay ourselves.
Yes, and that goes along with, I know that you're familiar with the rates, certain pieces of apparatus and other equipment, and even personnel. For the use in wildland firefighting, for example. But the same thing is true if you apply ICS, so in the event that we have a major disasters, things like that. Certain costs are recoverable by FEMA, if it's declared a natural disaster or whatever, right? And those rates are recoverable for certain pieces of equipment. A backhoe gets a certain amount per hour, a dump truck, based on yardage, gets a certain amount per hour. That's why it's so important during those large scale events for our finance department to be tracking every minute that equipment's being used. Now, I'm also not suggesting that we come up with a rate sheet for the school district so we can fix the road on the flagpole. So that's not the intent. But the intent is to enter into an agreement that will make it a little easier for us to, if we do have a back truck, somebody else can come to us and say, hey, we'd like to use your back truck. They don't necessarily get just the back truck. You get the back truck and the appropriate amount of employees to run the back truck. That way it's run properly, it comes back in the same condition that it left in.
Well, what if you really wanna try a back road, just like half of it?
We're gonna have.
That's when you oversee Paul Owens and equipment.
I'll let you use theirs today.
I like the idea of being able to do it as good neighbors when appropriate, but I do like the fact of establishing rate sheets prior to utilizing this too much
Yeah,
on the outbound.
and this does formalize what we've been doing informally for quite a while.
Any other questions on this particular IGA?
Can I add one more piece of information?
Yes, you may.
This was actually at the recommendation, if I remember my emails correctly, from our city attorney.
Yeah,
I move to authorize the city manager to execute the water IGA.
second. We have a motion from Councilor Donahue, seconded by Councilor Hofer. Roll call please.
Councilor Eater,
Aye.
Councilor Hopper. Aye. Councilor Estoga,
Aye.
Councilor Donahue. Aye. Councilor Hop. Councilor Colette. Aye. Mayor Fowle.
I'm going to abstain from this one just because. Working for a state agency that may also be part of this IGA. And I don't know, so I'm just gonna be safe. All right, moving on, city manager's report.
Okay, I'll be really quick. This last week, the city took delivery of our first trailer of Meridian barricades. Those are those barriers that we used during Oktoberfest last year. Ours are actually orange and not white, so they won't blend quite as easily. For those who thought they might be victim to wandering into an invisible barricade, they're actually bright orange and we'll be putting the city's logo on them on the trailer. But that came to us by way of the fire grant. When I wrote the grant, I didn't know that you could request two, but since the delivery guy told me he made a delivery of two to the University of Oregon, two to the city of Springfield, two to the city of Eugene, I'll be going back for seconds. And by the way, these are accessible by everybody else in the state who has them. So our trailer may get picked up and taken somewhere else and then brought back to us. The cool thing about this trailer is it is a newer piece of equipment. It operates much better. And we actually have some really cool gates that attach to the barricades. So it'll make it easier, especially during Oktoberfest, to get garbage trucks and porta potty trucks and those types of things within the festival. So it's going to be really cool, great opportunity. And all of our public works employees were trained on how to use that, as my intent is that public works will do that in the future, as opposed to a fully equipped gun-toting police officer. Officer Seha and I successfully passed, and we're the only two people, actually there was three of us. Only two from Mount Angel that attended, but there was a third officer from Independence that actually passed drone training that we went to 3 days last week down in Albany. Very extensive training. I'm very happy to have gone to even just to administer the program. The instructor who came down from the state of Washington provided training. By the way, this was presented free of charge by CIS. I wrote a grant for that, and so we're getting $1,000 off one of our drones, and then they provided all the training for free. So it's a total of 5 days of training. I have my pilot's license. Officer Seha has his pilot's license now. And so moving forward, but we were the only 3 out of 11 that actually passed the course. So it was very interesting flying, taking pictures of certain pieces of gear on the ground, and they had to be precise and had to be exact. And it was great training. So and will be very useful for everything that we do here, whether it's a public works project or we're having to move somebody out of the towers and need to find somebody during Oktoberfest. Very awesome. Everybody's been working really hard. There's a lot going on. Happy to answer any questions. So yours. Thank you.
Youth Advisory Council report.
Good afternoon. During Dornbeckers Week, which was the 13th of April to the 17th, we had a ton of fundraisers, and our goal was to raise $8,000. And we raised $8,134 for Dornbeckers Hospital, which is great and so glad that we have. That's all I have. That's it.
Excellent program, by the way. Good job.
Would you go to the talent show? Yes, great work, for sure. Council reports, Councilor Sorger. Councilor Black.
No.
Councilor Hofer. Councilor Donahue.
So the sludge thing kind of brought up, maybe I missed it, when you requested some kind of report about the fly situation. Did anything ever come up with that? Did we just?
That's what it is next. No, it's not part of that,
Okay.
but it's on the agenda.
Alright.
Can't remember how it looks.
Can we put some attractant? Council Hoper, can we put some attractant in the trucks?
I think there's gonna be attracted in the trucks. So I mean, they'll just follow the trucks out of town.
This is probably going to be a heavy fly year.
Yeah.
It already is.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was incredible.
Yeah,
that's all, there's, didn't know if I missed anything. Takes time. Thank you.
Councilor Hot. Councilor Eater.
I do have a comment. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time, but I probably attended my last budget meeting, but I was a little disappointed on the amount of questions that were asked and emailed.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna let us go with nothing from me tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting.